Thanks, Lascan Corla. I'm going to make my points in relation to these 4 amendments together. So in relation to Amendment 5, the latest CSO business demographic figures show that approximately 50% of workers in the state are employed in smaller micro businesses of less than 50 employees. So if we were to get a true reflection of the real gender pay gap in the state, we need to include this large employee base in the provision of this bill, and this is why we believe that it should be reduced from, I think in the amendment it says, or sorry, in the bill it says 50 employees, and we're proposing that it should be reduced to 20 employees. Then for Amendment 6, this amendment is very similar to Amendment 5, and it's part of the government proposed staggered rollout period between various sized organisations. We'd like to see the figure of 250 reduced to 150 to apply for the 2nd anniversary of the legislation. And 7 follows on. We're opposed to the provision that allows an organisation of 250 to avoid the legislation until its 2nd anniversary. We believe that organisations of a smaller number should be required to fulfil their duties within 12 months of this bill coming into law. And just to add in relation to that, you know, I know sometimes it can be difficult when various laws are changed for smaller business, but there is absolutely no reason and no excuse whatsoever that you can have 2 employees and just based on their gender that one is being paid less than the other. So it doesn't matter how many employees you have, that is not acceptable. So this is not a situation whereby a smaller employment is having a difficult financial situation. There is never a reason, and it's never acceptable for a woman to be paid less than a man doing the same job. So I just don't believe that there should be any sort of get out, for want of better words, and that's why we're putting this amendment forward. Then again, in relation to 8, as mentioned above, we strongly believe that organisations of 150 plus employees must be reduced to 50 at this point, so as to a full picture emerges of the disparity in gender pay gaps. And then again, in relation to 9, we believe that the 3rd anniversary is too long before this legislation must be adhered to by businesses, and that 18 months is sufficient for an organisation to put in place the necessary provisions to begin collating this important data. And just again to reiterate, we shouldn't have to be having legislation in relation to gender and pay, really. People should be actually able to ensure that they're paying their employees fairly, not, and shouldn't be based on gender. But if we are to have legislation, then we do need to be robust about it. And I think it's important that, as I said, there's no get-out clauses. Thanks, Lascan Corla.